All right, we're here with Justin Lee, senior wide receiver for the BSU Beaver football team. Justin, first off, let's start from the beginning. Playing wise, why did you choose Bemidji State, and what are some of the things that brought you here?
I think the most important reason that I came here is because Coach Bolte was really harping on me. He recruited me hard, and I actually decided to make the commitment to come here when I was on a trip to Ferris State. So I think it was that and just my recruiting visit and feel of the town and the beauty of the area really hooked me in.
There's some other Illinois-based players in the team, and it has been continued that way. Does that help a little bit when you got some guys from your area at least to relate to?
Yeah, it does. I've actually, two of my best friends are from Illinois, and it's weird to think that, we grew up in the same area, but, we had to come up here to meet each other and become such good friends, and it definitely makes it easier, but at the same time, it's been nice to meet a lot of different kinds of people, so it's been good.
I don't know what you envisioned your first few years as a college football player to be, but I imagine that it wasn't what it turned out to be. Can you just talk about your first couple of years and all the things that happened?
Yeah, it was very frustrating, especially coming off of my freshman year, being redshirted, coming in, working so hard just to have it all taken away in the snap of a tendon, and it was hard. It's definitely not how you want things to go, but ultimately it was just an obstacle that I had to overcome, and I think I'm a better man for it. Maybe a little better athlete too, believe it or not. You have to bump up the cerebral aspect of the game in order to overcome the knee injury and the ankle. It was a rough start, but things are on the right track now, and I just want to end strong. It's my last year of football, and I'm in the best shape I can be.
If you're comfortable, just what exactly happened with the injury? How did it happen, and what all went wrong? And then what was the rehab process like?
When I tore my ACL, we were just in a perimeter drill, and I made a simple jump cut. I've made a million times, and next thing I know, I'm seeing black for a second, flashes of white light in my brain, and then I'm laying on the ground and my knee is just yelling at me, and it was really terrifying, because I knew instantly that it was very serious. But after that, I took the semester off. Actually, I wasn't even at BSU. I went home and I rehabbed, and when I was, good enough to walk, I went back to work, and, it was hard, being here for a year and then having to go back home and, rehab 4 times a week after getting off of work at a job that I really didn't like. So, it was it put things into perspective for me, and, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was, maybe what I needed. A little reality check.
Make it easier or harder to come back to BSU?
It made it a lot easier, it really made me realize that BSU was somewhere I wanted to be. So.
And then talk a little bit, so the ankle is a separate injury, right?
Yeah, that happened actually the next fall, about halfway through the season, and that was actually in a shell practice, and I don't really remember exactly how that happened, but it was a combination of just weight on one leg and the torquing motion. Someone was trying to rip the ball out. I think it was a freshman. I wasn't really expecting it, but that was worse than the ACL for me, because it sounded a lot worse in my head, and it made me sick. I think I puked before I got into the building. So, and it was my brother was visiting. It was it was going to be the only chance ever that he could have seen me play college football, and he lives in London now, so that won't happen. But another tough injury, but at this point I'm just glad they're behind me and looking forward to the season.
All right, so injuries behind you. You get a full year of playing. You're not only a double threat or dual threat with your running ability and speed, but you can throw the ball too. Talk a little bit about when the coaches approached you on running up that little flea flicker, throw to the end zone play.
Well, it's ever since I've been here, it's been something that's been in the playbook. I know that Anthony Schreiber used to, do that play a lot, and there's a number of receivers that can actually probably do that play, but for some reason my number gets called most of the time. And I've been playing football since first grade. I was a quarterback in high school. I know how to throw the ball, so it's just it's just a good play that catches defenses off guard, and it's fun for me to run, because I get to throw the ball. And most of the time when I get that opportunity, it's not very hard for me to complete the pass, because like I said, it catches the defense off guard, but the receiver that I'm throwing to is usually wide open.
What was the emotions like when you completed that? I think the first time was against Duluth for a touchdown. I think it was at Duluth a few years ago. Do you remember that play and
yeah,
what it felt like to kind of a little extra when you can trick that defense, especially when it's at Duluth?
Yeah, it was cool. It was bittersweet. It was a nice play, but I think we were losing pretty bad at the time, so it was kind of it wasn't as sweet as it should have been, but it was still cool. I think that year actually Lance and I were the only two guys in the conference to run, throw, and catch a touchdown. So I think that was pretty cool.
What have you done this off season to prepare for your final senior season?
I've worked harder than I've ever worked before. I've lost a little bit of weight to take some pressure off my joints, get the speed back, and you just really trying as hard as I can not to miss workouts, not take it easy, and just realize that this is the last time I'm going to be able to do this in my life. So
what are your expectations, not only for yourself but the team this year?
As far as the team's concerned, I think that we can do some really good things, and we've worked hard since January to make sure that we're going to be successful this year. And as far as my expectations, I just want to be a person on the team who contributes to that success in whatever fashion that may be.
Well, let's go away from the football field a little bit. You are a student athlete, and sometimes people forget that student comes first. Talk a little bit about your major, how you got into it, and maybe some things that you're doing in it that are kind of exciting.
I came into BSU thinking, maybe I wanted to be a medical student one day. So I was already in biology courses. I had already started down that path, and over the years, that changed. And being up here and meeting some of the people that I've met, I've been exposed to the outdoors, and it's really become part of my identity. And I love the woods. I love getting outside and hiking around, and going through rivers and canoeing on lakes and stuff. And so I'm still in biology, but my emphasis is a little more towards the outdoor natural resource management aspect of biology. And it's been really fun taking some of these courses. I've gotten to climb white pines and do chlorophyll fluorescent measurements and treetops at nighttime. So it's been really fun to do some of this stuff.
Do you have any outrageous experiences in your outdoors adventures, either when it's yourself or as a class?
Nothing too outrageous, but like I said, dangling from a branch 80 feet off the ground is pretty gnarly.
Did you have any of those type of experiences growing up? I believe you're from sort of suburban Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you have that history at all, or did it just kind of hit up here?
You know, I've always liked the outdoors. My best friend Reed and I used to, you know, when we wanted to get away from all of the human traffic, we would go to this forest preserve by our house, but it wasn't really a forest preserve. It was more or less a path around a huge prairie. So, you know, I've always had a thing for the outdoors, but you know, it really, being in Bemidji really awakened that dormant spirit.
What type of career do you see yourself doing now that you've sort of shifted to environmental study?
Well, you know, the first thing that is going to have to happen is I'm going to have to get some experience in order to get a job in any kind of, you know, like DNR type of agency or something like that. So hopefully, you know, I'll be able to find some experience doing some internships and stuff. But, you know, if that doesn't work out, you know, so be it. But at this point, with the job market as it is, you know, I'll be happy with just getting any kind of job.
Makes it a little harder going back to suburban Chicago to pursue a degree like this. Are you willing to take this wherever it leads you?
Yeah, you know, it would be okay to go back to Chicago, but you know, as far as my plans to do so, I have none. So kind of just, you know, I graduate in December, so wherever the winds take me.
Talk a little bit about your personality on the field with the team, sort of where you fit in with your teammates.
I've never really been, you know, a vocal leader, a guy who really, you know, shouts and screams and, you know, tries to get people jacked up and stuff. But I kind of just like to play cool and laid back. So I really think that sometimes, you know, guys feed off of that and just feed off of my energy and, you know, my example. So, you know, kind of just that's part of my niche on the team, is just, you know, trying to stay upbeat and you know, laid back, so that at the same time, so that, you know, people can feed off of that.
Is there a maybe it comes with that injury stuff, but is there sort of a defining moment that's shaped your experience at BSU?
There's been so many. I can't really pinpoint a defining moment, but if I had to, I would have to say that you know, the injuries really kind of turned my whole life upside down and kind of made me redefine myself. You know, made me had to grow up a little bit. You know, change some things about myself that weren't really admirable, but you know, from the rubble of those experiences, you know, I've become the man that I am now, you know, going into my senior year, ready to graduate in December, and just looking forward to it.
All right, Justin, thanks for taking some time with me, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Here with offensive coordinator, Coach Eric Medberry. Eric, just kind of talk a little bit about Justin Lee, what he brings to the team, not only on the field but off.
Justin is, in a lot of ways, he's a guy that's a catalyst for our offense. Just he's a goofy personality. When he's upbeat, when he's having fun, it seems like the whole group is a little bit looser, and it's fun to watch because when he's playing well, when he's healthy, and when he's capable, he's a fantastic player. He's explosive. He gives our offense a different dimension when he's healthy. And couple that with when he's having fun doing it, that really provides a spark for us, for sure.
How important is it to have a guy like that, especially a senior that's been with the program for 5 years, that has that just different kind of edge?
You know, Justin's interesting. Probably nobody cares more than he does, but he's got a different approach to the game, and he likes to have fun. He likes to keep guys loose, and it helps in a lot of ways. We'll miss him, that's for sure. But when he's gone after this year, but he gives our guys just really sets the tone. When he's playing well, when he's running around, being goofy and having fun, our whole offense loosens up and plays better, honestly.
Talk a little bit about his versatility on the field. Obviously, you used him as a runner, a receiver, even as a throwing the ball a few times. Let's talk about his versatility a little bit.
It's such a weapon for us. We love having guys that are versatile, and Justin's probably the most versatile guy we have. He's led us in rushing multiple games. He's thrown touchdowns. Obviously, he's caught touchdowns and is one of our go-to receivers. But finding ways to get him involved, finding different ways to get him involved is one of the fun things that as an offensive staff we get to do. And he's an important part for us, just utilizing him in those different ways. He does such a great job carrying the ball, whether it's out of the backfield or from the pitch in our option game. And then targeting him in the pass game as well, and he's usually at the receiving end of some of our trick plays too, whether he's throwing a ball off a reverse or being the guy carrying on a reverse, things like that. But it's fun to find different ways to get him involved.
How much do you know about his off-field activities? I know he's after talking to him, he's very outdoorsy. But what do you know about his off-field?
It's been fun to watch that part of Justin develop and grow up, because coming from Chicago, he adapted pretty quickly up here, and he's a guy that really embraced all the opportunities that you have up here at Bemidji. Being outdoorsy, being in the different programs through the university to get involved and to take advantage of the outdoor opportunities that we have up here. It's been fun to watch that part of Justin grow and develop.
So what's kind of player in person is Justin Lee?
Well, first off, I guess if you talk to anybody, he's kind of a funny kid on the team. He's always looking to make people laugh and kind of keep the mood and mentality high, and he does a terrific job of that. He's also, especially this summer, one of the hardest working kids we got. He really worked his butt off this summer. He cut some weight, get more agile, back to kind of the explosive athlete that he was when he came here before all of his injuries, and he's definitely put the work in. You can definitely tell on the field. He looks faster, looks more explosive. His concentration is through the roof right now, and he's ready for the year.
You guys aren't maybe the same size and weight, but you have a lot of the same skill sets. It's kind of fun having another guy like that, another athlete that can run, throw, catch.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we've used him all over the field during the time that he's been playing. I think last year we were the only two people in the conference that ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and threw for a touchdown, or 2 years ago it was. And so he's very versatile. We use him out of the Jedi package where he comes in at running back, and just kind of that formation itself, we run that. We've kind of gotten a lot closer, bonded just through that, because we're in the same formation. We got to make the same reads and talk about what we did. So that's helped a lot. We've gotten a lot closer kind of through that. And yeah.
I sort of touched on it, but his personality, a little different than the average football player. How important is that to have a guy like that just sort of even, but also can provide that type of energy?
I think it's very important. You definitely, when you have a football team, you're going to have those hard-nosed football players that are there focused, kind of the mean, angry kind of kids that you need, and then you also have Justin Lee, who when the time calls for it, he is very focused, intense, but he also keeps everybody light on their feet, especially practice times when it gets to 2 days and it's hot and no one wants to be there and it's turning into a grind, and you got someone like Justin there to get everybody laughing, get everybody excited about being out there, say something that's just off the wall that makes you shake your head and laugh, and so it keeps the mood up. It keeps people wanting to be around the team, wanting to come to football every day. So he helps a lot with that.
He's a biology major. You have biology, chemistry background. Do you guys share any classes, or have you?
Yeah, we have had a few classes together, and it's just, you think he's funny in football, sit in class with him, and he keeps that light too. I mean, everywhere the kid goes, he puts smiles on people's faces.
All right, Lance, that's all we need from you today, but good luck this season, and have fun connecting with Justin a few times.
Sounds good.
This
Thanks.
year.